remember I drew something like this, and I told you electrons were flowing from here to here. So this is the first end, and this is what the second end. You understand? In the case of water that was flowing, you recall I drew something like this for you. So this is the first end, and this is what the second end. So there must be, like in the water, there's height difference between the two ends. This place is at high, this end is high, this end is low. You understand? This end is high end, this end is low end. But in electricity, the first end will also always have high PD, that's high potential difference. The other end will always have a low potential difference. So that's how this across its end came up. So provided that temperature and other physical conditions of the conductor are kept constant. So when you are putting Ohm's law in word format, you understand this condition must be there, provided this condition must be there, right? Provided that temperature and other physical conditions of the conductor are constant. So that is very important for you to note. So this aspects would still study it later on this issue of provided that temperature and physical condition of the conductor are constant. So we'll get to look at it later, but you just get to know that without this, the Ohm's law is also not complete, and this is the basic thing about Ohm's law. So having introduced the Ohm's law, we will now be going into a series of calculations involving Ohm's law. Since we've got to know the formula, the next thing that will be involved is the calculation that follows suit. So let's look at the calculation before we go over to some other thing. So calculation comes in different formats, in different sizes, in different shapes. You get. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking my time and showing you like 1 or 2, 3 examples that are different, and you're going to be saying. So this is the first one of the first examples we'll be looking at. That's the first example we'll be looking at. You can write it down. Okay, you can pause the video and write it down. You can just pause the video, you write it down. Okay, let's write this as question number 1. So you can write this so that we can start solving. Now, if you look at, if you can attempt it, fine, or you just wait, I solve it, then you kind of go back to this point and try to solve it again by yourself. But please, don't forget that the target of this class is to make you have an A in physics. Don't forget that. Don't miss that point. But please, some students shouldn't misunderstand prayer and work or wishes and work. We only have a target. It doesn't mean that A will just come up from nowhere. One thing that will also help you to get A's is revise, always get used to calculations. Like after we've solved this on your own, take this question again. That's why I say you should write it down. Take this question again, try to attempt it. Listen, in this our online class, more questions, more problems, and more problems